Good morning, everybody. It's David Schlotthauer here, and we have an emergency update for your Saturday morning here on the 16th of August, 2025. This is an emergency pop-up stream. In fact, as I was almost asleep, my friend off of Discord called me, says, dude, you need to see satellite images. And I get up and I see a donut. I see a donut with very deep convection surrounding it. This hurricane has absolutely surprised a lot of people. This hurricane has explosively intensified over the last 12 hours. We're not talking the last 24 hours. We're talking the last 12 hours since my live stream last night. We look at the 3D here, you can see that this is a very warm eye. This eye is very, very warm. We have an emergency right now that is playing out. This is a very, very serious hurricane that has undergone explosive intensification, not rapid intensification. There are two different things. Explosive intensification is when pressures have dropped more than 48 millibars in 24 hours. And we have had a pressure drop of over 60 millibars in 24 hours, if I remember that correctly, because we were at 995 and now we're down to almost into the probably the 920 millibar range already, because this eye continues to warm significantly this morning. If we look at the visible satellite imagery here, the red spectrum, we can see that this is sky blue. There is no clouds at all. And I checked with another friend about this. I checked actually with Andrew, which is a hurricane specialist on X. We were talking back and forth briefly, and he confirms that this is a sky blue eye. There's no clouds at all in the middle of this. This is showing us that this is an apocalyptic hurricane. This is a hurricane that we have not seen since Milton of last year, back in early October. So this is a serious situation, and it's a good thing. This is not impacting any land areas. This is out in the middle of the ocean, but I was just getting bombarded with messages, a lot of posts on X that holy cow, this thing is exploding in intensity recently. And if we actually look back at the visible satellite imagery this morning, we look at this. This eye really has cleared out ever since the sun came up, and you could even see the details in this. Like, let's do this. Let's go to the last 30 frames, excuse me. You could see, actually, this is a meso floater, right? This is not a meso floater. I thought this, oh yeah, this is a meso floater. It's just not updating as often. Or is it? Let's see. There we go. It's updating pretty frequently. That's what we want to see. Look at this. You can see inside the vortex, not tilted at all. And you could even see some cloud debris rotating in this. This is very phenomenal. This is something that I have not seen since Milton of last year. And this is showing us that this is a formidable hurricane by every single level. In fact, this is probably one of the fastest, most intense strengthening hurricanes that is even physically possible out here in the southwestern Atlantic. So just to show you how fast their intensification trend has been here, let's actually bring up my epic pin here. By the way, if you all are just tuning in and you're probably getting a loud notification on your phone, I am very sorry. I did not want to do this, but I was literally lying in my bed, looking at my phone, And each time I was getting updates at, oh my gosh, this is very strong. Oh my gosh, this is extremely, it's just, it has escalated so fast, so short since midnight. So we can see here there has been a NOAA Air Force mission that has flown the system, the low-level reconnaissance aircraft. And each time they have passed, look at this fall. Look at the pressure tanking with each pass. This is very, very quickly on the order of 6 to 8 millibars per hour. That's how fast this pressure is falling right now at the moment. And I would not be surprised if this is even a Category 5 in the next advisory from the National Hurricane Center, making it not only the first hurricane of the Atlantic hurricane season, but the first major Atlantic hurricane, the first major hurricane of the Atlantic hurricane season, and the first Category 5, just like we had last year with Beryl being the first Category 5 back in late June into early July. This is very similar with that. So the pressure has fallen exceptional, at least 6 to 8 millibars per hour. That is the fastest I have ever seen that. And when we take a look here at the temperature inside the eye, this is what Recon will do. They'll use the dew point and they'll measure the temperature of the eye. And each time this temperature has also gone up. And right now it is a little over 25 Celsius, which is in the 70s, which is quite absurd for a hurricane to have this. This is a very warm, very dry eye with dew points down into the 10-degree Celsius level, which is pretty significant here, with dew points on either side that are very, very high. So this gives us an idea that this strengthening trend, if we connect the dots here, this eye has actually warmed at a very appreciable rate here, something on an extraordinary historic level in climatological standpoint. And the strongest physical possible for a hurricane like this to get is about 160 to 180 miles an hour. So it is going to be interesting. If this continues, we could witness one of the strongest hurricanes in the Atlantic ever on record. Let's hope we don't get there, but that is certainly a very big possibility given how fast the intensification rate has been here with Erin. Here's a look at the latest Recon plane that did their last fly through. We're getting planes out there right now that are still doing this. We'll show you that here in a second. But look at the central pressure. 931.9 millibars. So about 932, 933 millibars. I mean, when I went to bed last night, this was about 960 millibars. 960 millibars. That's a big drop in pressure since midnight my time last night. And just to go to show you, this is not very far either. And look at the pressure, 992, 990, 987, 981, especially, but look at how fast this falls right here. The pressure drops goes from 981, 974, 961, and then 939, 931. This is a very, very compact inner core structure that the system has with it. So again, luckily this is out in the middle of the water, but excuse me, man, my cough today. It's a good thing this is out in the middle of the ocean, not bothering anybody, although there are bands emanating out from this. But this is so intense that I had to get up early. Well, not really get up early. I never really fell asleep. I'm going to still try to get some sleep here. I'm only going to be live here probably for another 30 minutes or so until we get our next passes of aircraft. We're going to be waiting for 2 of them because there are 2 aircraft out there that are investigating this. And if we actually go over there, yeah, see this 936 millibars from that aircraft just recently. So we're gonna wait for a little while here to see with what they find. But look at this pressure fall. Look at this. 951, 942, 935. In fact, this is faster than Milton. Actually, Milton did not drop this fast. Actually, I think it was like 940 to then 920. This is 951 to 935 in 3 passes. All right, so we're going to get another fly through, I believe. Maybe, yeah, we should be able to get another pass in there along to go with another mission that is ongoing from the Air Force. So I am very curious to see how much lower this could get. I hope it doesn't get much lower than where it is now because, man, who knows? Who knows how strong or how much stronger this could end up being. What about Bermuda now with this hurricane? So I'm going to just do a very brief update, but I really did not want to get into a whole lot of detail, although to just currently track with what we're doing, seeing right now. Before we get to there though, this is a look at the current eye temperature right now, and it is about 64 degrees, 64 to 70 degrees right now, surrounded by cloud tops that are negative 100 to negative 110 degrees. This is a formidable storm. This is extraordinary, with lots of lightning going on within the Eyewall itself, which means intensification has yet not stopped at this given present time. So we're going to be watching. They are on their way in right now, and we will see if they find any pressure that is lower. Because if they do, then I just do not know how much stronger this could actually end up getting from where it's at right now. So the question someone was asking is this going to hit Bermuda? Well, with this going further to the west than what we were previously thinking, and what I mean by that is if we actually look here at our track guidance forecast, the hurricane is still moving south of where it's supposed to even be. Like, it was supposed to be way up over here. This is much further south, actually. Well, it was actually supposed to be way up over here, in fact, and it's way down here to the south, much further south than what we actually thought previously. And even so, they're going to up the intensity here, I'm sure, to about a category 5, I'm sure, very soon, if this isn't already. Actually, let me see if this is upgraded really quickly, and then we'll look at your forecast. Okay, no, they have not done any urgent update yet. They're going to wait until they get more data in there. If the pressure still falls, then they'll probably up it. So on the GFS model, I mean, at this point, please take this with a grain of salt. On the GFS, it's not going to be 949. Like, well, in 18 hours, it's not going to be 976 millibars. It's already down into the 920s. So take this with a grain of salt as you see it. But this is expected to still strengthen all the way up until about the next probably 2 to 3 days. So any short-term intensity fluctuations here will be due to the fact we have eyewall replacement cycles. We might have a little bit of vertical wind shear that gets in the way of things. But overall, the background environment, at least over the next 2 days, looks volatile for this hurricane to at least maintain a high-end category 4 to perhaps now at this point probably a low-end category 5 hurricane with winds between 150 to 160 miles an hour. But we can see this is going to be a very powerful large hurricane as it moves to the west of Bermuda. This is basically this the split-edged sword between where Bermuda is and where Cape Hatteras actually is here. Now, we are still, because of this westward trend, the system has been moving further to the west than what we thought. This could really cause a lot of deviation to the model runs coming out in the future here. So just because we are that say the eastern seaboard is safe. We're probably gonna have to watch model trends a little closely now to see if this ends up being a little closer. But either way, this is going to be a formidable hurricane for the next 2 to 3 days at least, and then weakening at a gradual rate will begin after that time as it gets into slightly unfavorable environment conditions, a little bit of drier air, some vertical wind shear getting in the way of things, and the system growing in size. And then after that, we could be dealing with another powerful system out here. This is very far out on the GFS. I want to make that clear, but this has been quite consistent over the last 5 model runs, showing a very powerful tropical storm or hurricane somewhere in this vicinity. So I'm going to put a big old fat box over here in the next 10 days, showing maybe another system behind Erin. And believe me, we do not want another system after dealing with Erin here with how strong it is. So this is going to be something to take into consideration that we might not be done. We might not be done after Erin here. In fact, if we go to our ensemble forecast with that, and then we'll get back to Erin because everyone is here due to Erin right now. Woke you all up. Sorry to sound the alarm. And yeah, see, so we have a still pretty good solid signal that this would there is going to be some development chances out here down the line. And then again, how close does Erin get to the eastern seaboard? That is going to be watched. That really will, because if this again gets any further west than where it is right now, we're going to have problems. We're going to have serious problems perhaps on our hands. And I don't want to mention that to you guys. I really don't. But that's where we stand right now. And as of right now, this is still moving due west. In fact, just south of due west, as matters of fact. This hurricane has a mind of its own. It really does. It just does not want to listen. It wants to go the way it wants to go, but because it's so intense, it doesn't want to gain latitude. And maybe it is all this deep convection down here, maybe trying to yank the system, tug the system a little bit closer. I do not see this threatening Puerto Rico. I do not see this threatening the Virgin Islands, although because this is closer now, you could see certainly some tropical storm force winds. But at its current heading right now, this would get very close to Puerto Rico, but still safe enough where most of the hurricane force winds would still be offshore. But yeah, if it continues on this deviant motion for a while, this could put Puerto Rico at risk here for maybe seeing some tropical storm force winds. And someone said in the chat, it is wobbling. It is hard to say if this is wobbling. This has been a motion. The last fix here from the NHC was right there. And if we point a vector from that, this is not gaining latitude. So it's hard to say if this is wobbling. Now, maybe wobbling a little bit south of due west, but that really doesn't matter at this time because we were supposed to see this. I mean, if you follow the track here, you follow where this has been, it was supposed to kind of do this, safely be north of these islands. But now instead, this is further to the west. And that is because of what we're dealing with right now with major hurricane Erin. Erin it has a mind of its own. But I did, for those that are joining in right now, we had a pressure, an extrapolated pressure of 931 millibars. 931.9 millibars. That is extraordinary from where we were just this morning, like from midnight. Actually, if we go over, I wanted to show you all something since you all are watching. Is let's go to our archives and let's look at the public advisory. Let's go to yesterday on the system. Okay, 15 UTC public advisory. Look what the pressure was. Yeah, look at the pressure. 20. Wait, that's 11 in the morning, right? That's 11 in the morning. Hold on. Okay, yeah, no, it's weird. This is, oh wait, no, this is not the latest. Okay, the latest is down here. Sorry, I confused you all. So 12Z from yesterday. So yeah, 998 millibars. This thing was at a 998 millibar with 29.47 inches in mercury. So if we, let's do this. Let's do some addition on line calculator. So if we actually go over to 998 minus 931 millibars, actually we'll do 932 equals 66 millibars in 24 hours. In 24 hours. That is crazy. That is crazy intensification. And if we go back to 21Z, this is about when it started intensifying. 18Z. 993, no, 15Z. 15Z, it was 996. So if it can get down to, say, 926, that would be 70 millibars. 70 millibar drop in pressure in a 24-hour period. Yeah, that is, and you do the math. You literally do the math there. 70 millibars divided by 24 equals about 3 millibar drop in pressure on a hourly average. But most recently, of course, the pressure has dropped much faster. I think it's going to go more west. Someone said, I'm starting to believe that. At this point, this is very much defining anything right now. NHC is probably scratching their head, is like, why in the heck is this thing going west? It's not supposed to go west, this long. It has been going west for a while, for a time, but they have not changed their heading on this. But I wouldn't be surprised in their next advisory, they will do that, probably put it down to like 275 or something, average things out. But we are going to be waiting for another pass of the two planes as they go in there to see if there has been further strengthening with the hurricane. That's going to be on everybody's mind. Is this still intensifying in it? And they are still going, yep, they're going to go in again for another pass. They're going to go in for another pass. So it is going to be interesting on how low the pressure actually gets. And for those that are watching, we have almost 900 people watching this live stream this early in the morning, and I want to apologize to wake you all up. You're probably like, whoa, David's live? What is he live about again? I was not expected to go live, but when I was watching the aircraft data for a while, people were texting me, say, David, you need to see this. This is intensifying very quickly. And I was like, if this continues to fall, if the pressure continues to fall rapidly, I'm going live. And that's exactly why we're doing this right now. We are still live on this storm because the pressure has continued to fall very quickly at an alarming level. Let's actually look now at the long wave IR, and yikes. Yeah, look at how warm this eye is. This is phenomenal, folks. This is phenomenal, and I am not making things up at all by any means. This eye is extremely, extremely warm right now. In fact, I think it's actually warmer than Milton. I really think it's starting to line up that way. Getting some of our warmest returns right now on the satellite imagery. And this could be a little generous given what Recon found. So I'm trying to scope the system here to see if we find anything that is warmer, and it has warmed up further. Yeah, 63. We got a 63 there. This kind of wobbles a little bit, but pretty much in between about 60 to about, yeah, about 60 to 65 degrees that eye temperature is. And that's important because if you have a very warm eye, that means intensification is still continuing. The warmer the eye, the stronger the vortex actually is. And yeah, we even have lightning. Look at this. We actually have lightning. Yeah, we have a crap ton of lightning going on right now on this Eyewall. So this is not showing signs of letting up at all. Now, it becomes a huge question. When is there going to be an Eyewall replacement cycle? Because that's going to cap the intensity eventually. If we actually go back and look at the, let's go down here. Okay, we have to go to this mission because this is going to give us, why is it not giving us? All right, this was from earlier. This was from earlier on their first pass. And it did appear we did have a concentric band here, but this band never wrapped all the way around. So what it appears here is a very intense Eyewall. Now, this doesn't look very strong because this is a tailed Doppler radar. But this is a very intense Eyewall, exceptionally intense, so intense that, again, pressures are very low on this hurricane. So there is certainly a very intense Eyewall going on. And when we look at the surface wind here, we can see this, again, this is their first pass. This was basically, well, time was this 9:31 Z, so that was like 2 in the morning when they did this. And so we have seen a lot more strengthening since then, I believe. And right now they had a maximum wind of 123 knots, but of course that is a lot higher now based on the NHC. So therefore this could be a Cat 5. I would not be surprised. We'll see what the next recon data find. But anything about 140 roughly is the magic number here. Anything above 140 is considered, well, is considered a Cat 5. Is considered a Cat 5. So we're going to watch and wait for our next planes to fly in. Right now, we have 2 missions going on right now as we speak. And once we get that data in, we will bring it to you live. But I am telling you right now, this thing is absolutely intense. This is beyond intense. Now, some of you might look at this and be like, oh, the eye drifted a little bit to the north here. But this satellite view is actually looking at this at an angle. So our eye is literally pretty much right here. So this, the center of this has not gained any latitude at all and might have lost a little bit of latitude. It was actually up here in latitude last night. So it has really deviated to the west-southwest over the last several hours. And that's troubling. That really is, because now that changes the forecast on who could get impacted eventually downstream, or will there be any impacts, you know? So the extrapolated pressure is 931.9, but their drop zone data shows a 936. It's probably lower than that right now, based on the rate of change of pressure that the planes have gotten since then, especially from the NOAA plane. If we actually look at that again, a 951, 942, 935. And if you make a prediction, we would be, so 942, that's 7. So we would be down to 928 or 926 millibars right now in their next pass. And if that happens, that would be still a very fast rate of intensification. But we're going to need to wait and see whether or not that actually happens. Now, it is worth noting, remember our icon model, folks, our German model that I like that, well, we're going to have to start relying on that model right now because look what it shows. Now, I don't think it's going to get down to 908 millibars over here, but boy, early on, none of the models saw this coming, really not at all. And in this scenario, this shows intensification for the next few days here, while other models don't show it as much. Now, it is important to note, though, when we look at our halves A model, this was not initialized good at all. I mean, yeah, look at this. This is barely a hurricane. This is barely a hurricane. Like, what the heck? I mean, wow. The halves A did a horrible job. Did a horrible job at initializing this. In fact, it did better initializing it literally 24 hours ago. Really, just a bust on this one on the halves A, but it does show that the system does get down to 930 millibars in 51 hours. So the intensification could continue at least in its first bout of intensification. Again, due to Eyewall replacement cycles, they're hard to predict. But we could unfortunately see this remain at a high end 4, a low end 5 for a few days before this begins to gradually weaken, but not by much. This would be a very powerful hurricane passing in between Bermuda and the United States. And the good news is here, you don't see any United States land masses at all, telling us that it will be far enough offshore. Now, let's see about the halves B model. Let's see how that initialized. This did not do a good job at initializing at all. Let's play this through, though, and see how strong this gets. This gets down to 927 millibars. 927 millibars in 51 hours, telling us that, yeah, this has more leg room to intensify after Eyewall replacement cycles. And then really after we get past about the 60-hour mark, by the Monday timeframe, this should begin to slowly weaken gradually as it moves to the north. And that's because of the vertical wind shear will be on the increase. And if we actually look at the vertical wind shear, you can see right now the system is right here. So at the moment, there is no vertical wind shear over the system. In fact, shear is going to be very light for the next 24 hours, if not no shear at all to worry about. Or we should say we need to look at the shear closely. And then in about 48 hours, the shear is light. And then look what happens. Then the westerly flow starts hitting it here a little bit. And you can see this flow, this returning flow, hitting the system back on the upper left side. And that really helps to tilt the vortex a little bit and initiate weakening. And then, of course, it will interact with more upper level flow here coming in out of the westerly direction, limiting its outflow potential and tilting the vortex any further. And so that's why this system here will be in a gradual weakening phase. But once it interacts with this jet, though, it could re-strengthen a little bit more into a very powerful extratropical cyclone as it undergoes baroclinic transition. So we're waiting for our recon mission or our data to come in from the two aircraft, the NOAA, not the NOAA. It is going to be the Air Force mission that is Yep, they're very close. They're very close to the eye right now, and we will wait and see. The fat side is going to be the northeastern side, so that's going to be the strongest side of this system. And based on what it looks like right now, look how warm this eye is. This is just getting warmer and warmer and warmer right now. This is actually at the very bottom. Yeah, see, it's still, oops. There we go. You can see here how this is staying really low, which tells us that's how warm the eye actually is. David, it's not moving north. No, it's not moving north at all. It is moving directly west, probably a little bit of south of due west overall. Actually, it has curved a little bit further down. But look at this. Another bout of deep convection wrapping all the way around this system. In fact, if we play this through, you could actually see, watch this. Watch it rewind. You can see how fast it's actually moving those clouds around the eye. And that is 3D. Look at that. This is not good at all. And that's why my thumbnail says, oh my gosh. And yes, I know I'm clickbaiting, but it really makes sense. I mean, how can no one say, how can no one say and not say, oh my gosh, when waking up to seeing something like this? I'll tell you, this is very, very, a very warm eye. Yeah, look at this. Look at how clear that is. That is a very clear eye. Very clear sky blue eye right now. Good morning, Shawnee 111. How are you doing? Yeah, look at how clear that eye is. Sky blue. Sky blue. There's black pixels on that. Yeah, no one expected this. No one expected this at all. I wake up and see sunshine and birds tweeting. Yeah, that's what I have here. It's getting light outside here, by the way. Welcome morning. An ugly morning in some sense for the meteorologists, for the weather enthusiasts like me tracking this. Yeah, props to the icon model. Yeah, except it did not see it intensifying this fast. In fact, if we bring up our Recon aircraft, let's bring that up. 3 minutes ago. Not that. Let's do this. I wish these barbs would be colored, though. That would be helpful. If you want to be a little hyper beast, you can. But just be careful. Because, you know, we want to keep it professional. We really do. But yeah, there it is. I mean, and the most amazing thing about a hurricane like this is we can see where it's going. It's not like there's a CDO where we don't know where the circulation is. We could see where the circulation is easily. I can tell you right where it's at. And it's right where that black spot is. And look at how black this is. I mean, there is no clouds at all in that. There is no clouds at all. And now when you start seeing, now if you guys see this very closely, see these little whirlpool-like bands? I don't know if you guys can see this. It may be hard to see, but see those whirlpool bands? If you guys can see that, let me know in chat. Because this is part of the structure of a hurricane. What's up? Let Caesar. Yeah, I kind of see the whirlpool. That means the hurricane is so strong, it's like a whirlpool. It literally is. So let's see what our extrapolated pressure is. We are down at 923 millibars. 923 millibars. Lower than I thought. Lower than I thought. Literally lower than I thought. No way. No way at all. This is still explosively intensifying. 920, 925. I thought it said 923, but either way, 923, 925. It intensifying so fast, we could might as well say it's probably about 924.6 millibars right now. I mean, holy freaking crap on this one. I don't like, that's me being aggressive here. I mean, this is defying all forecasts. I mean, look where it was earlier. 935, 925, 10 millibar drop in pressure in an hour. In a single hour, people. In a single flippin' hour. Actually, you know what? No, let me make sure, because when did it get the center? It got the center at 11:36 UTC, 11:36. Yup, exactly in 60 minutes. It dropped 10 millibars. This is a category 5. I don't care. I don't care at this point. This is a category 5. Oh my gosh, yes. It's a category 5. They're going to up the intensity. They're going to go for it. They're going to go for it. Oh my gosh, yes. That's almost 150 knots right there. Almost 150 knots. Wait, is that? That is almost 150 knots. So that's 100, about 100. Let's go to miles per hour, knots to miles per hour. Knots to miles per hour. See what they found on the max wind. Because it'll tell you here. I have to use the barb calculation to see. So that is 50, 100, 140, 140, probably 147 knots. 147 knots, that's 170 miles an hour. That's 170 miles an hour. There's no doubt this is a category 5. Easily. Yeah, if there were 3 flags, that would be 150 knots. But each here's a little life lesson. Here's a little thing you can learn. So when you look at a map like this, you'll see triangles. Okay, so you'll see triangles, which are 50 knot increments. So you would sum it all up. So this is, well, let's do it over here. This is 50 knots, 150 knots, 10 knots, 10 knots, 10 knots, 10 knots. And so you would add it up. 50, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, and then a half barb means 145 knots. But probably because of how tight that pressure is, it's about 147 knots right now. I'm going to save that image and store it into my archives. So right now we are seeing for sure a category 5. NHC is going to pull it, I think. They are going to pull it. very soon, actually. Once they do the full fly through and they get more, they confirm it with other aircraft. Oh yeah, see the flight level wind? Wait, that's the NOAA mission. Oopsie. Oopsie doopsie. Let's see. Oh yeah, winds have come up. Winds have come up with this for sure. Yep. Wait. Hello? Surface wind? All right, you know what? I'm going to go on to Google. That's 160 knot surface wind. No, that's not. Or is that? Or is that? Because the blue spike there. You know what? I need to go to... I need to go to Google Earth and open this up. Okay, Kermit, we need the CJW-130. I need to see that because that is quite phenomenal. No, they did, and it was not flagged. It was not flagged at all. A 171 mile an hour surface wind. A 171.5, so about 172 mile an hour surface wind that was not flagged at all. So this is a category 5. They're probably going to pull it. I think they might pull it. Yeah, you guys, if you think I'm lying, no, I'm not. Like, look at the data. I wish I could zoom in. Let me see if I can zoom in. I can't. Can you guys see that? I hope you all can. You'll have to look really closely, but... Oh, so it's 175 gusts. So it's probably wind gusts then. But that could be sustained given the pressure, though. Given how low the pressure is. So I don't know. It might be gusts. It could be sustained. But either way, 172 miles an hour. Man, I am going to probably stay up for the next update. But I am going to need to sleep. I am going to need to go to sleep because I have been up all night. I would not be surprised. I'm being dead serious. Can you guys look at that for me, please? Can you look at that? I thought 172 was high. Can you look at that? Can you look at that? That was not flagged. That was not flagged. That better be wrong. That's 184. That's a 184 mile an hour, probably a wind gust, but holy crap. Holy crap. Man, the pressure supports it. The pressure supports the intensity. It really does. It really supports it. And how I knew that that was a surface wind is look at how high this thing peaks. You can see the black line indicating surface wind, right? That's what the legend says. And then your flight level wind is a little lower. I would say if they average it out, though, they'll probably average this all out. It's probably going to be 140 knots. So at least 160 miles an hour, at least. David, check Discord. What am I checking? Radar? See storms, that's what I see. Oh my freaking gosh. I'm going to actually, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to actually have to put this on X again. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Erin will most likely have winds upgraded to 160 miles per hour based on contaminated SFMR winds peaking at 184 miles per hour and a central pressure of 924.5 millibars. There we go. That's out. That is out. See how my other posts have done. Holy moly. Really quickly. Here's the icon, or here's the halves A. Man, did it do a bad job. Did it ever do a bad job at initializing? Woo! The worst it can get, literally. While someone's wishing for this thing to still intensify further. Oh, that meteorological eclipse guy on X. So we have an eye temperature now of about 65 degrees. And look at the lightning on this. Look at how much lightning we have in the eye, surrounding the eye right now. We had some lightning over here. We have a lot of lightning going on right now on the southern side. This is... I do not like saying this in a live stream, but this is the most ominous hurricane I have ever witnessed since Milton, at least since Milton. I think Milton is a little stronger by far than this system until an Eyewall replacement cycle happens, because this is just going to get more stronger if an Eyewall replacement cycle does not occur soon enough. But man, oh man, we are watching and watching the data come in. Again, it's food. We need to be fed. We need to be fed. Yep, here we go. NOAA aircraft coming on in. Batter up. We have another aircraft. I did not want to do this. I wanted to sleep. I wanted to sleep. But no. This hurricane had to wake me up. Literally had to wake my butt up. Or if I was trying to even sleep, which I wasn't really trying to sleep. Oh, I'm telling you, this is why, I mean, You cannot ever underestimate a hurricane. You cannot. You just cannot turn your back on a category or on an Erin. What's up, Smokin' Swamp Outdoors? How are you? Good morning. Good Saturday morning for all of you. I know you guys are coming in, joining, and being like, what? Why is David live? Why is David live for the millionth time? I did not want to go live. I really didn't. But I'm like, this is beyond significant. This is beyond significant. I will still have my afternoon video today. But that might even be delayed because I need to get some sleep over here. Yeah, it's like you guys have been up for a few hours, well rested. Not me so much. But you know what? You guys mean more to me. You guys are far more important. And that is why I thought that, you know what? They need to see this. They need to see this. And it just gets uglier and uglier and uglier. Oh my gosh. Can you please check the water temperatures in that area? Sure. I would love to check the water temperature. So let's actually go to windy.com for that. Before I do though. Yep, this eye. Oh, yeah, this eye is 70 degrees right now. 70 degrees, folks. 70 degrees. That's the warmest I've seen it so far. So let's go over to sea surface temperatures. Again, where that hurricane actually is right now. So let's go to satellite. Let's overlay this. Right now, let's go back to sea surface temperatures. This is over water temperatures of 84 to about maybe 85 degrees Fahrenheit. And the water is only going to get warmer from here on out. It's actually going to go up another couple of degrees before it finds itself in a more unfavorable atmospheric environment. But I wanted to be clear. This is a hurricane over not 90-degree water temperatures. Water temperatures that are not 90 degrees. Okay, have you guys noticed that? Now, water temperatures are not 90 degrees, and yet we are seeing a hurricane like a Milton, almost like a Milton. All right, so let's go back. We are going to watch and wait very closely. Holy crap. They got the center. What did they find? 922 millibars. And look at that wind barb. Look at that wind barb. Look at that wind barb on the northeastern quadrant. 160 knots. Wait, 50, that's 50, 100, 150, 158 knots. 158 knot wind barb. Oh, holy crap. Oh my gosh. This thing is not stopping. That pressure just dropped like 3 millibars. 3 millibars between the NOAA, between the Air Force aircraft and now the NOAA aircraft. Look at that. Look at that wind barb right there. This is phenomenal. Look at that. Again, great example. You add 50 to each triangle. 50, 100, 150, and then a 5. So you get a 155 knot, but probably plus or minus a couple there. We're looking at anywhere between about 153 to 157 knot flight level wind. And look at the pressure down to, actually, you know what though? I don't want to say this. I don't want to hype up and cause any more fear because I'm probably doing a good job at that already. But I don't think they got the exact center. I really don't think they did, because if you follow these wind barbs, you can pretty much tell. Maybe they did, but if they didn't, I am thinking there's an estimated pressure down to about 921 millibars. 921 millibars, perhaps. Based on how fast it's intensifying, it could be down to 921 millibars. Okay, now. You know what? Let me see if they got SFMR winds that were higher before I make that post. Let's see. Oh, wait, I'm going to need to use Google Earth, huh? So let's use Miss Kermit. Let's use Kermit here. All right, so they got 180 mile an hour winds. They got 180 on that in that quadrant. Yeah. They got 180 miles an hour. So that, oh wait, no. Yeah, 180 in both of the aircrafts. So, yeah, this is going to be a Cat 5 on its upgrade. This is unreal. Latest from the NOAA. What mission number is this? What mission number? Mission number A2. All right, from NOAA A2. Okay, this is unreal. From NOAA, just got a maximum flight level wind of 157 knots, a central pressure around 922 millibars, and a SFMR wind speed of 180 miles per hour. Erin, defying the laws of physics. It'll correct it. Don't worry. The laws of physics. I'm being sarcastic. Okay, you guys, don't take that seriously. Don't take that seriously. I'm being sarcastic. The laws of physics, like, come on. This was not even going to be a freaking Cat 5 in the first place. And we got a Cat 5. I'm calling it. I am calling it. I don't care what people say. I'm calling it right now. I've done this long enough to where I see the pressure being low enough to support that. And if you guys can't see that, I will show you proof. I will show you proof. It's right here. Right here in the box. 922.7 millibars. 922, but because this might have been a little offset from the exact center, we're probably estimating that at around 921.9 millibars. You think this cone will shift significantly west? Oh, probably, for sure. Braden, thank you for becoming a tropical storm tier here on the YouTube channel. I do appreciate it. I might just stay up all day and just sleep, like not go to church at all tomorrow and just sleep all day until work. Or I might just call in sick because this, I mean, this is, what word am I looking at? Yeah, what Mark Sedeth would say, literally what he would say in one of his videos last year when we were, again, predicting that whole hyperactive hurricane season, which really didn't come to fruition with the number of named storms. But like his saying on this, I don't care if I'm fear-mongering you all. I do not care. I don't care. You need to be afraid of this. You need to be afraid of this hurricane right now. Look at the sculpted theorists on this too. Okay, let me turn off the Hurricane Hunter aircraft. Now, there are different things that I'm looking for a very intense hurricane as well. And one of this is, see how this is all shabbed right here? See this cloud cover, you all? You guys can see this very easily, just like I can. I want to see if you guys can see this along with me. But see this shabbed cloud cover as well? And then the cirrus gets very smooth. 175 mile an hour, I would not be surprised. They're going to upgrade it in the next advisory. See that? See that shabbish like cloud shield? That is a very, and I hate to say this, this is a very, very bad look. You do not want to see. Because you know what those are? Those are overshooting tops. The convection inside this eyewall is so intense, that you're seeing overshooting tops. And what you're seeing is cumulonimbus overshooting tops all over the place. And then it smooths out, which tells us, unfortunately, I have to say, this is a violent hurricane. This is a violent hurricane in progress. And of course, this is not going to hit anyone. All right. I want to make it clear in this live stream. This is not going to hit anyone. This is not going to threaten anyone. Although there are some rain bands down here that are part of this system that are bringing some heavy rainfall, some squally conditions, some maybe tropical storm force winds. That's not really the big thing with this. What's really a big thing with this is how strong this hurricane is right now. This is why I'm live streaming. And I'm live streaming because of how quick this has intensified right now. David, is this moving southwest? Yeah, let's bring up the visible satellite imagery. My gosh, my X page is going crazy right now. So you can see where the eye is moving, and it looks like it is deviating a little bit. It's bending down to the southwest a little bit right now. I do want to confirm that though. I really do. Because that's what I do. You know, I got to be honest and real with you guys over here. So keep an eye on what we're seeing right there with that eye, that little dimple looking eye. Yeah, this has not turned back to the west. This is still moving just south of due west, just a little bit. You know what this is starting to remind me of, you all? You know what this is starting to remind me of? See if you guys can guess. You guys will guess Milton, but no, that's not what I'm referring to. No, not Dorian. I don't know. Does Hurricane Allen ring a bell? It reminds me of Irma and Maria, but this looks very much like Allen. Look at how much convection is down here. This is not what you call a annular hurricane, what I call a hybrid hurricane. There is a lot of convective banding features on this. This really has that barrel as well, perhaps even barrel. But something sticks out to me that this looks very much like Allen. It has an Allen texture to it. Yeah, look at, there is no clouds at all in that. Oh my gosh, how much worse is this going to get? How much worse is this going to get? That's where we're at right now. Like, how much longer is this going to actually rapidly intensify? But I'll tell you guys right now, holy cow. It's a good thing that this is not hitting any land areas. If this hit any land areas, it would be total devastation. It would be total devastation. Come on, can the NHC update any faster? Can they update any faster? I'm not trying to whine, but it's like, come on already. We need a new update. I'm not going to sleep. There's no way. And there it is. Another 10 mil. Wait. Yeah, that is a 10 millibar drop in pressure. A 10 millibar drop in pressure. Which means in 2 more hours, if it continues on this right now, it will be at 906 millibars. In 2.5 hours, it could be in the sub 900s if it continues on this path. If this continues, and holy moly, if it gets below 900 millibars, I will lick the floor. That's how it's going to go. I don't think it's going to happen, though. D-Max is taking full swing. Wait, we're past D-Max, correct? See, I'll be honest, that's what I'm still learning D-Max and D-Min. Johnny probably knows more than me. But now it comes to, will we get an Eyewall replacement cycle? Thank you for the $20 donation. $8.99 and lower pressure. I'm predicting. Ooh, gosh. Oh, man. You know what? I'm going to keep an eye on X in the background here to see if people are probably going crazy. Probably going crazy on this right now. Oh, Noah Michael Lowry. Yeah, Michael Lowry just posted something. The NOAA Hurricane Hunters just flew through Erin's northeastern eyewall and measured 180 mile an hour winds at flight level, 8,000 feet. At face value, that reduces to 160 miles an hour. Cat 5 winds start at 157. So he's even calling this to be 160 miles an hour. He's even calling it a Cat 5 already. Man, if this is not a Cat 5 in the next update from the NHC, I will be surprised. Oh, someone helped me out here. Michael over here. Let's bring him up. Yeah, look at these winds. Look at these winds right here. At different levels of the atmosphere, I'm actually... I won't repost it. Maybe I will. But look at the winds at different levels here, and a maximum wind at 932 millibars. That is not far above the surface. This is from earlier, I believe, right? This might have been earlier, but either way. Oh no, this is 6:38 in the morning. Look at this. 167 knot wind max. A 167 knot wind max at that layer. So to put that in a perspective, that's 192 miles an hour. That's 192 mile an hour maximum wind at that layer. That is extraordinary. Getting close to 200 miles an hour we're risking here. Yep, even Evan is saying 26 minutes ago, Erin is now likely a Category 5. Recon found a minimum central pressure of 925 and flight level winds peaking at 150 knots. Dude, oh my gosh. Just like Barrel. Copycatting Barrel over here from last year. First Cat 5 of the season, and the streak continues of Cat 5, at least one or more Cat 5 hurricanes throughout the hurricane season. By the way, I did want to thank you for that $20 donation once again. So, it is not surprising at all. And now it's a matter of how much stronger will it get, and by the looks of satellite, that is even better than it was earlier. You know what? This is so strong. Look at the stadium effect. You could see the stadium effect over here on the eastern Eyewall. Look at that stadium effect. You could literally see it. Oh, this is bad. This is terrestrial. It's going to go Cat 5. I'm calling it. I am calling it. And this has not gained latitude. I mean, what's going on? Why is this not gaining latitude? Please gain latitude. Don't be going to kiss Puerto Rico over here or the British Virgin Islands. They don't need this. They don't need this. Yeah, that is becoming warmer. This eye wall is still warming up. A warmer eye means trouble. Yeah, this is easily. There's a lot of lightning going on in it. A lot of lightning. You know what it looks like? A typhoon in the Western Pacific. That's what it looks like. Oh my gosh, this sun is so bright. It looks like a typhoon. Actually, I should turn off my fan. That fan. Why I had it off the whole time? Because wind hitting the camera or the mic would not be so good. But yeah, this is like a typhoon. Typhoon Haiyan or Typhoon whatever you want to name it, any typhoon you can think of. That's what it looks like, literally. And look at the 3D on this too, the 3D structure. And look at how it progresses, literally. Holy cow. Please, Noah plane going back in. Ooh, boy. Okay. They're going back in. We will show that. Probably the... Oh, they sure are. They sure are. Hey, you all, let's give a huge shout out to hurricane hunters out there. They're putting their lives on the line to giving us the information that we need. So big shout out goes to hurricane hunters. They are doing their freaking job. They're like the worker bees, you know, like honeybees. They're working their buns off over here, getting us the data that we need. You know what? I'm curious, though, switching gears on the ADT. Wait, I want to make sure, Raul. Now, I want to see how strong this actually is. I'm curious if the ADT is even picking this up. Look at this. No, it's not. It's only 102 knots on the ADT. See, that's why recon data is so useful. It really is. 958 millibars. And yeah, that's such an outlier. Very much of an outlier. Holy cow, Andrew. Man, oh man. I'm very curious what they're going to find. I'm very curious what they're going to find on that next pass. I don't know if you're still awake, but we certainly have a Category 5 with a pressure down to 926 millibars. Hey, you guys. Maximum flight level winds almost 200 miles an hour. How strong do you think? How low will the pressure be in their next pass? Let's get some guesses. I'm guessing it's going to be down to about 919. I'm guessing 919. How low do you think? You all take a guess. I want to hear those guesses. Someone said 915, 910. No, 907 not going to happen. No, that's too fast. In their next pass. Oh. You guys are... Okay. So we're looking at between 915 to 920 on average. Whoa, someone said 888 millibars. That will happen eventually, perhaps, at this rate. If an eyewall replacement cycle does not happen soon, that could happen. But I think it's going to be about 920 millibars And if I'm wrong, that's a bad thing because that means it's lower than what I predicted. We're going to wait. We should get a new update here soon from Hurricane Hunters. But geez Louise, this thing. Man, oh my gosh, that thing is intense. What's up, Peter Moss? Could Erin be reinforcing the ridge of the U.S. right now, causing the west movement or even a west-southwest jog? I don't know. That is a good question. Man, that is a good question. I do not have the slightest idea on that. The ridge is there. The trough is there, but I think this hurricane is so intense, it's making its own localized weather pattern. So it's literally drifting. It's like it can't feel the weakness in the ridge as much because it is strengthening so fast. So it has a mind of its own right now, is what it has. It just doesn't know where to, it knows kind of where to go, but it should be way up over here where my mouse is, but it's way down here. It just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. We have 50 minutes left before the next update, and I would bet you enough of this data here will allow them to upgrade it to about 160 miles an hour. And NHC is probably like, there's no way this thing could have pulled a big one on us. Well, NHC, it clearly did. The eye temperature is a solid 70 degrees right now. 70 degrees in that eye right now. 70 degrees with cloud tops that are native. That are roughly negative 100 to 110 degrees. Man, this thing is intense. Boy, we have 950 people watching this live stream, folks. Share this, share it, get it out to a lot of people because this is life-saving information. This is live data that is being fed right now. Thank you, Peter Moss, for the $10 donation. I do appreciate it very, very much. Again, this is a serious hurricane. This is beyond serious. And look at how this all evolved since the sun came up. Look at how it just first sunrise over the hurricane, and you could even see little vortices in their eye. Do you guys see that? Little vortices in the eye, which means this is still intensifying. This is still strengthening right now. Those vortices are still ongoing. Yeah, mesovortices are a nasty, bad sign in an intense hurricane like this. Because you're basically getting little meso lows inside of the parent low. So you're getting like a little low. Well, let me draw it a little bit better than that. So you're getting like a little bit of a low like this, and then you get more of these little circulations that kind of go around like this. Sometimes you can get 4 or 5 of them. And then here would be your main low. And so they kind of go like this around the parent center. And that's because the wind in the eyewall is so fast. It is spinning so fast from where the clear part of the eye is that you're actually getting spin. You're actually getting rotation that is so violent. I wonder what those hurricane hunters are thinking right now. Like, they are probably getting sick, throwing up. It's just not good. Not good at all. Hopefully not. But it's certainly a bumpy ride right now. So we are going to be waiting for more data. It's coming in. It's going to be here very soon. Very, very symmetrical hurricane, though. Absolutely symmetrical. And actually, if we do a... No, that's not going to work. Hold on a second. I think it's this tool, right? Yeah, look how symmetrical that is. Very symmetrical. Very symmetrical. Actually, it's so symmetrical that I could tell you where the hurricane force winds actually are. They're within this little area right here. And then your tropical storm force winds go out to about 70 miles out from the center because of your CDO, your central dense overcast. That's there. Yeah, there's no vertical wind shear at all. The more symmetrical it is, the lesser the vertical wind shear actually is. And I would not be surprised in the storm's environment if we have vertical wind shear that is less than 5 knots, easily. Less than 5 knots. There's always going to be a little bit of vertical wind shear, no matter how you think. Let's see if we can get a product here where we're able to see lightning. I think that's what we can do here. Should be able to see some lightning in this. But this is still moving down to the west-southwest. And actually, I'm starting to think that if it continues on this heading, it means it's strengthening, I believe. Maybe there's a little hypothesis behind that. So if it starts gaining a little bit of latitude, it might be either going under an eyewall replacement cycle, but we have not seen that happen yet. Okay, new data. New data is coming in right now. We should be getting that very soon. Very soon. We're waiting. We're waiting. Patiently, patiently. But yikes. This is disgusting. This is very disgusting. You could even see a little bit of, it's hard to tell here, but gravity waves coming out from this. Because this hurricane is so freaking strong. All right. We're going to have a new NHC update here in about 45 minutes. And I will bring that to you all live here on the YouTube channel. But look at this, you all. Look at how clear. That's pitch black. That is blacker than black. Even in different filters, if we go to the blue filter, yeah, look at how blue that is. That's completely clear all the way down to the surface. Now, this looks like it's cloud cover right here, obscuring the eye, but we're looking at this at an angle. You could even see the little shadow from the sun shining into it. So your eye is probably something like this right now. And so what you're seeing is almost a two-dimensional view of what it looks like inside the hurricane. There is no clouds at all in that. No clouds at all. Oh, someone said holy. Someone said holy. $55.05. We should be getting a new update from NHC. Come on, NHC. We need a new update. We need the data. Maybe it's not on Levi Cowan's website. Nope. It's not popping up anywhere. Let's see if we're getting it. No, not yet. But there is all signs that this has continued strengthening. Look at all the lightning in this. Yes, definitely strengthening. Our eye temperature's hanging steady at about 70 degrees right now. Lots of lightning activity going on in the eye right now. A lot of lightning. Will they throw out an early advisory? Good question. I don't think so. This has not turned at all. This has not gained any latitude. So we're going to wait for new Recon aircraft. We're just waiting patiently. Come on. We need you. Nope. What is taking so long of this data? It's definitely a whirlpool, that's for sure. It is definitely a whirlpool. And Peter Black, blacker than black, the nighter of night. It's not literally pitch black, but different channels give you different things. And look at the 3D on this. And hey, look, it's a tornado. It's literally a tornado that's on the ground. Not literally a tornado, but you can see. Hurricane Erin is crazy. Oh, yeah. The eye has gotten a little warmer, I think. You can tell right here in the recent few frames, it has dropped down a little bit, so it has gone a little warmer. Definitely not cooling. Definitely not cooling at all. Where is this at? This is to the northeast of Anguilla, St. Martin. St. Martin. An Eyewall replacement cycle, when will that occur? Let's see if we got Doppler radar. You can probably see. There is the eye right there. But it is way up there. I'll tell you right now, way up there. $9.19. Oh my gosh. This thing, the pressure has dropped 5 millibars in 30 minutes. 5 millibars in 30 minutes. Absolutely ridiculous. Oh my gosh. Okay. You know what? I am going to post this again. It gets scarier and scarier, it seems. It gets scarier. It's getting scarier and scarier, it seems. Minimum central pressure down to 919 millibars. Erin is well in category 5 range. My gosh. When you guys spammed 919, I'm like, wait, why are you guys saying 919? Well, someone's beating me to the refresh button. Thank you guys. I love you guys. You guys are my hurricane hunters, okay? 919 millibars. Wait, what was the pressure when I started the stream, folks? I can't remember. I'm so tired right now. I can only think one thing at a time. What was the pressure? Like 930 something or 940? I think it was like 940 something. Literally, in an hour and a half, it has dropped this much. Is 942? Wow, dude. Oh, it was 936. That makes sense. Yeah, it was about 936. We're down to 919 millibars. So, my gosh. This is going to be in range of the sub 900s. If an eyewall replacement cycle does not start. If it does not start. I wonder what people on YouTube are talking about. If they're talking about this. I'm not going to click on anyone's video. But I am so curious. Boy, there's a lot of people that are live on this right now. Just like me. Look at that. Just like me. This is so bad. This is so bad. So the system continues to rapidly intensify at an explosive rate. Wait, why did it not get there? There we go. Perfect. There's the hashtag that I was looking for. My gosh, this thing is bad. This thing, I wanted to go to sleep. I was hoping the thing would peak intensity already. But no, you're keeping me up, little guy, Erin, or little girl. Keeping me up, little girl. Or I should say ugly at this point. Erin a battle or bottle. Yeah. I can't sleep. My adrenaline is pumping. I'm tired, but I'm not tired. I can't, you know. This would be the first time I actually pull almost 24 hours without sleeping, which is actually very dangerous. Because once my adrenaline turns off, it's probably going to be it's probably going to be I'm going to be a zombie. But I am going to end this by 8 o'clock. Once the new advisory comes out, I'm waiting for that advisory. Once that gets released, I will head off. The sun is nice and high already. I started this stream when it was dark. But I love you guys. I'm glad you guys are here early in the wee morning hours of Saturday. Yeah, it's 919 millibars. That's where we're at. And this to go to show you, I've got it all in archives on X. Each pass I get, I'm going to just post it over there. But yeah, this is what we have in their last pass. This is literally off the charts intensity right here. And there it is, 919 millibars, 919. And would not be surprised, since this is a NOAA mission, right? Yep, this is a NOAA mission. I would not be surprised if it's down to 918 millibars even. Because again, this is 20 knot winds right here. So that center was probably right about in here. So it's probably about 918 millibars. Probably 917 even. Great job on the coverage. You're very welcome. I do appreciate it. And thank you for the $5 donation. I really appreciate you guys here watching me do this, because I love doing this. I really love doing this, but man, I just feel bad that this thing is so intense. It's one of those things. It's a good thing this is not making landfall anytime soon. So they gotta... That was not their final pressure reading, wasn't it? It was not 927 millibars. There, it could not be 927. But this is definitely dropping, very much so. And as long as that pressure drops, there is no eyewall replacement cycle, and it does not look like there's any secondary wind max that was found. No, there was no secondary wind max. That's what you would look for on a aircraft recon data, is secondary wind maxes. We are not seeing any indications of that right now. This is bending more southwestward. Is it? Or is it not? Or am I making things up? I think it's bending more southward. I think it is. Yup, it sure is. Man, this is getting a lot closer than anyone thought. Thank you, Roxanne, for gifting 5 memberships. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Yeah, look at how far... I gotta laugh at this. I literally do. Look at how far off the cone this thing actually is from the center line. This is a great reminder that this is why the cone gets thicker even 12 hours out or 6 hours out. The eye is leaving the cone. Literally, this is the 3rd time this has left the cone. Man, by the next update, the whole entire eye is going to be outside of the red area. It's going to hit the coast at this rate. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. I don't see that happening. But it is headed... Let's see where it's... So it is still headed at a rate like this. Man, that's going to bring it very close to Puerto Rico if it doesn't turn fast enough. The bad thing is no one is preparing. Well, I'm sure people are preparing. That's why we're live here too. I would be actually, I'm going to remind you all, if you're in Puerto Rico, I would be paying very close attention to the move to every little move this storm makes. If you're on the British Virgin Islands, I would be watching this closely. If this does not turn northwest early enough, that's why it's time to sound the alert just for backup. Again, British Virgin Islands over here. Puerto Rico, I still believe you will be safe. This is going to eventually turn at some time. So I don't think Puerto Rico is in much danger right now. But these British Virgin Islands right here need to be watching this. About 25 to 30 minutes in counting before the next advisory. Again, 25 to 30 minutes before the next NHC complete advisory. Still not turning. Nope. I would not be surprised in the next advisory if they make it show west at like 275 or 270. 15 minutes before the next advisory. No, it's 7:30. It's 7:30 my time. The ridge is stronger and storm is moving southwest. It's not moving southwest. It's moving due west, slightly south of due west. Southwest is like this. This is southwest. This is more west-southwest. This is more west right here. Okay. So it's moving, you would say, slightly south of due west. So when you hear that term, slightly south of due west, it's like west is 270 on a compass. 265 would be 5 degrees south of due west, and then so on and so forth. I would say it's moving due south, or it's moving southwest relative to where it was supposed to move. I would see that being the case. David, is the hurricane David is the Hurricane King. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I really do. I know my stuff. I know what I'm looking for here. I mean, I called it. Well, I'm sure everybody called it before me, but I called this a Category 5 long time ago. It's not going to be a surprise now once a new advisory comes out. This is probably a Category 5 with 165 mile an hour winds. It is a possibility for sure. I want to see, though, from this mission. Oh, they're going back in again. Look at this. They're going, the fact that they're doing this, they're confident that they're going to find stronger winds. So the eye has not warmed up anymore, which is a good thing. It has leveled off with that. But I think the warmest it can get. Oh, wait, no, these are flight level winds. This is not eye temperature. Ding dong, David, wake up. The winds are about the same right now, at least in that quadrant. So they have not increased any further, but that does not mean it's done strengthening. The pressure has dropped. I'm still here, which also indicates maybe there's only a maximum that the flight level winds could probably get. I don't know. But the pressure has dropped pretty dang quickly right here, especially in their last two fixes. This has dropped mighty quick. Yeah, look at that. That is a quick drop. And if we actually connect the dots, this is actually about as rapid as it is possible to get intensification with a hurricane. The eye temperature. Now, here's the eye temperature. So, well, It can go two ways. To be specific, the eye has cooled a little bit, but it doesn't mean it's weakening yet. We will have to get more confirmation about that, but I highly doubt it's weakening based on no signs of a secondary wind max. That's what we would look for with Hurricane Hunter aircraft data. In fact, yeah, so there is no secondary wind max. This is very laminar on both sides. Very laminar. So what you're going to want to see on a chart like this is, well, let's forget about the red lines. So basically when they fly in, your winds are going to go up like this, right? And then there's your eye. And then they go up like this. And then they go down like that. It's laminar. But when you get a secondary wind max, you'll see something that looks kind of like this. You'll get some winds, and then it'll go up like this, and then like that. And then you'll get your eye, and then it'll go up again, and then it'll just peak. So you'll get secondary wind maximums surrounding the Eyewall. And we are not seeing that right now. Dude, how is this not a category 5? How is this not a category 5? Literally. How is this not a category 5 hurricane? With the wind data that we've gotten. Let's read it. Let's see with what they say. Erin has continued to rapidly strengthen during the past 6 hours and is now a category 4 hurricane. Reports from Air Force Hurricane Hunter aircraft indicate that the central pressure has fallen to 925 millibars inside a 6 nautical mile wide eye, and flight level winds in the northern Eyewall support surface winds in the 130 to 135 knot range. The initial intensity is increased to 135 knots, a 70 knot increase since 24 hours ago. The aircraft, along with land-based radar data from St. Martin, report that an outer eyewall is starting to form. However, this has yet become apparent in aircraft wind data, which it has not yet. So it's probably in the early stages. The hurricane has been moving a bit to the left of the previous forecast track with the initial motion of 2. They are just... I don't get it. I don't get it. I'll skip that. The track guidance suggests that Erin will turn back to the west-northwest with a decrease in forward speed during the next 6 to 12 hours on the south side of a subtropical ridge. This motion should then continue through the weekend, taking the core of Erin to the north of the eastern Caribbean islands through Sunday. After 36 hours, the western side of the ridge. All right, we don't really... Okay. And that should cause Erin to slow further and make a gradual turn to the north. The track guidance models are in good agreement with this scenario, but there remain some differences on where, when, and how sharply Erin makes the northward turn. The new track forecast is shifted to the south during the first 24 hours based on the initial position and motion, and it lies near the southern edge of the guidance envelope. The development of an outer eyewall suggests that rapid intensification should end during the next several hours. However, Erin is expected to reach Category 5 status before this occurs, and the new intensity forecast now calls for a peak intensity of 145 knots after 12 hours. Or wait, before 12 hours. After 12 hours, the environment becomes a little less favorable with increasing northwesterly shear and possible dry air entrainment. This should lead to gradual weakening of the cyclone through 72 hours, although superimposed on this trend will be fluctuations due to eyewall replacement cycles. After 96 hours, the cyclone is expected to move into the westerlies where the shear is stronger, and a faster rate of weakening is then expected during that time. The new intensity forecast is at the upper end of the intensity guidance in the first 12 hours and near the intensity consensus after that. Although Erin is a somewhat compact hurricane now, the models are in strong agreement that the system will grow in size over the next several days. In fact, by the middle of the week, Erin is forecast to at least double or triple in size, which will result in rough oceanic conditions over the western Atlantic. So we're talking about a peak intensity now about the time when I make my next video. Again, I will be making a video this afternoon at around 3 or 4 o'clock. It's probably going to be delayed to allow me to get some sleep and some shut-eye. But I will be making a video this afternoon on this hurricane. And if necessary, we will be continuing live coverage on the hurricane tonight if necessary. But I wanted to be clear here that a Category 5 hurricane is now forecasted, and a Category 5 could last all the way up to about 24 hours, perhaps maybe even a tad longer, depending on how strong this actually gets. The stronger this hurricane gets, the longer it may be a Category 5 for, but I think after 36 hours, this should weaken gradually. But even so, 96 hours, this remaining a Category 4 hurricane is a big deal. And that means big time surf, big time coastal impacts along the eastern seaboard, regardless of how close this actually gets. All right. I really want to make that clear here. Regardless of how strong this gets, very large surf is going to be a certainty with this. But again, I do not agree with the 155. I don't know. But NHC, I'll give them credit. They're probably being very generous. They're waiting for more aircraft data to come in to really solidify that, to really be sure that, oh, we have enough to support a Category 5. But either way, this is going to be a major hurricane for sure over the next several days, all the way through the middle of next week. But the good thing is this will be moving, or should not, well, should not meaning is not a saving grace statement here, but this should not get super close to the Bahama Islands over the next 3 days. And this should remain far enough off the coast where at least the risk of tropical storm force winds do not look very likely at this time, but there's a slim possibility. However, over Bermuda, though, with a fattening system, the system expanding its wind field, we are certainly looking at the potential for tropical storm force winds on that, regardless of how far to the west Erin actually is. But otherwise, this is a formidable hurricane that is not going to be ignored. This is making history for the month of what it's worth. And I mean, this is going to be a 5. This is going to be a Category 5. You know, keeping our streak going of Category 5 hurricane days, or years, we should say. Last year, and I believe the year before, we had a Cat 5. So it's going on and on and on. We're still keeping the tetrad going, unfortunately, with that. But a last look at the eye right now with Hurricane Erin before I head off. Eye temperature is still hanging steady now at about 67 to 70 degrees right now. So the eye is very, very well formed right now. And yeah, there it is. A Category 5 hurricane is now expected. Look at those wind gusts, by the way, 200 miles per hour, 200 mile an hour wind gusts or greater with this hurricane in the next 24 hours. This is a devastating hurricane. Even so, it's not impacting anyone. The fish out there are not liking this at all. But yeah, one last look. Look at that eye, you all. Look at that eye-like structure. That is a big, big no-no. Very strong. All right. Well, anyways, folks, I think that's going to summarize for the emergency live coverage on Hurricane Erin explosively intensifying near the Leeward Islands. Please be safe, folks. I will be back this afternoon with an emergency update. We will be talking about this hurricane for another couple of days as long as it remains a potential threat. And then we got to get going and talk about our next system behind Erin that could be developing in the coming days. As always, I'll see you back here right around 3 or 4 o'clock p.m. this afternoon, Pacific Daylight Time, with another detailed update here on major, life-threatening, considerable Hurricane Erin.